is what not to do. I think part of learning is just as much as knowing what to do compared to what not to do. Okay, so this here is for anyone who's having trouble with virtual local area networks. We made a lot of videos. Now, in this particular situation, okay, what we need to do is we need to ensure that blue can talk to blue, but at the same time, blue can talk to pink. Every video up to this point, if you've been watching the videos, we've had what would basically be uh, one switch. We failed to introduce a router. It was going ahead and creating VLANs, virtual local area networks, within uh, basically keeping it at a layer 2. Okay, so at this point now, what we're going to do is first I'm going to show you what not to do, and then I'm going to show you how it should be done. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get this thing going. Okay, so we have our VLAN 10, we have our VLAN 20, and this, I'm going to give you guys a big hint. If you guys can figure this out already, and if you guys can catch my mistake, mind you, this video is intended to show you what not to do. Okay, but if you can see where the mistake is already, you guys are ahead of the curve just looking at this. Okay, obviously you're gonna say, hey, genius, you need to go ahead and connect these. That's your first mistake, and that would be technically correct, but not the point that I want to highlight. You would want to go ahead and obviously make sure that these are connected. We haven't configured anything yet. Once again, we have not configured anything yet. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing going. And let's go. And this is great review. Okay. And before we begin to configure our devices, just think of this as a situation where you would have uh, this portion here. Okay. Let me see if I can get this. Let me see here. Outline. Let's see here. Let's pick. What do you guys think? Let's pick yellow. Okay. So this. Oh, no, that's not what we want. We want no fill color. Let's make sure we make this a little organized. Thank you guys for your patience. Just trying to make it look pretty and whatnot. So let's go here. No fill color. We got our outline. Okay. So this here, okay, this here is going to be our Office 1. Okay. So think of this as Office 1. And then this here is going to go ahead and be our Office 2. So you have Office 1. Okay. You have Office 2. They're connected, so on and so forth. Okay. So think of it like that. That outline was not the best, but at least it paints a picture. Okay. So let's go ahead. We go to our computer. We're going to go ahead and make sure we configure this here. We have one subnet address. Okay. And that's going to be a big hint here if you haven't figured this out already. So let's go ahead, and our default gateway, guys, is going to be our router. That's going to be 192.168.0.1. Okay. And this is 0.1. Got it. Okay, so that's perfect. Let's go to our second computer here, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. 192.168.0. This is technically .2. Subnet mask is going to be /24. I'll give you guys a hint. It has nothing. Technically, it kind of does, but it has nothing at this point in time. It has nothing to do with the subnet mask. That is okay. 192.168.0. This is actually, remember, this is .1, our default gateway. Okay, so how this system, the door that we use to get out of this system is technically going to be this router here. Okay, and we still need to configure that router, but let's go ahead and figure these, because let's go ahead and continue with these configurations here. So far so good. We haven't done anything. We haven't done anything that we haven't already done so far on our previous videos. 0 dot, let's see here, this is dot 3. Okay, so far so good. We have one more computer to configure. Okay, let's go ahead and configure this computer here. 192.168.0.4, I believe. Let's double check. Yes, dot 4. 255.255.255.0. Default gateway is going to be 192.168.0.1. Okay, so our computers are configured. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to make sure we create our VLANs. If I go into the switch right now and I ask, hey, show VLAN brief, okay, we have only our default settings. So we go to config T, okay. Oh, great. I put config T together. Let's go to this switch really quick because that's going to take some time in order for it to do the DNS lookup. Let's go to same thing here. Show VLAN brief, just to show and demonstrate to you guys that these switches have not been configured. This is straight out of the box, so to speak. Okay, we're going to go to config T. Okay, we're gonna go to let's go to VLAN 10. Okay, VLAN 10. Let's look at our little guide here. VLAN 10 is gonna be blue, so the name is blue. Okay, we're gonna go to VLAN 20. Okay, name is gonna be pink. Okay. So we got that there. Let's exit out of here. Let's go into our interfaces. So let's make sure we know where this interface is connected. So blue is connected to fast Ethernet 0/2. Perfect. So we go into our switch. We go into interface fast Ethernet 0/2 switch port mode access VLAN 10 done. Okay. Actually, I tried to get ahead. I tried to do two commands into one. Switch port mode access is the first one. Switch port mode access is the first one. Switch port. Okay. Let's go ahead and make sure we spell that right. Switch port access VLAN 10 is the second one. Okay. We're going to exit out of here. Now let's go into this switch here. So fast Ethernet 0/3. Let's go ahead and we're actually going to the switch, not the computer. Remember, the switch creates the tag for the VLAN. The computer doesn't even know what VLAN it's on. The computer just goes ahead and sends the information. Okay, so it is basically the switch that's going ahead and making sure that it has the tag switch port mode access. Okay, we're going to go to switch port access VLAN support access VLAN, and that's going to be 20. Okay, let's exit out of here, exit out of here. Got it. Okay, perfect. So we have this on an access port, we have this on an access port. Now we need to get these two computers here on an access port. So you guys could go ahead, go to enable, config T. We're going to go to, in this case, before on the right hand switch, I created the VLAN. I want to let you guys know also that there's a couple ways to create the VLAN. If the VLAN has not previously been created, what you can do here is go to the actual interface fast Ethernet 0/1. We're going to go to switch port mode access. Okay, we're going to go to switch port access VLAN 10, and look, Access VLAN does not exist. Creating VLAN 10. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There's a couple ways to create the VLAN. Generally speaking, you want to make sure that your system is organized as much as possible. That way, when you're looking at your configurations and you need to go ahead and troubleshoot anything, you can always go ahead and have a nice little map knowing exactly what your system looks like. Switch port mode access. So let's go ahead and get this last one here. Switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN, and this is going to go ahead and be VLAN 10. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let's double check here. I think I went ahead and we're going to go to show VLAN brief. And you can see I actually have both interfaces on VLAN 10, which is not what we want. We want to make sure, let's see here, this was 01. So let's go and switch that. So let's go to config T. We're going to go to interface, fast, Ethernet 0/1, no, switch port, mode, access, VLAN 10. Okay, perfect. So we got that out of there. Now we're going to go here. We're going to go back to switch port, mode, access. Here we go. Switch port, mode, switch port, access, VLAN. And what is this here? We're going to go to VLAN 20. Okay. VLAN 20 does not exist. Creating VLAN 20. Perfect. Thank you. So we got that. Oh, here we go. Show VLAN brief. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, now we got everything in place. So VLAN 20, this pink computer is on the interface fast Ethernet 01 on this switch. This VLAN 10, okay, this computer is on fast Ethernet 0/2. So far, so good, guys. So far, so good. We have our access port, we have our access port, we have our access port, we have our access port. Now, we need to make this a trunk port and we need to make this a trunk port because what we have here is what they call router on a stick. Router on a stick. Okay, and it kind of, you see this line here, kind of does look like a stick, kind of does seem like a router is on a stick. The reason why they call it router on a stick is because as opposed to having different lines for different VLANs, in this particular case, you're just going to have one. Okay, you're just going to go ahead and have one line going into the router, and it's going to have what they call sub interfaces. Okay, sub interfaces. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and continue here. This here, let's go ahead and let's make this simple. We're going to put this on gigabit Ethernet 01, gigabit Ethernet, I believe it was, let's go gigabit Ethernet 02. And this here is going to be on gigabit Ethernet 01. Okay, so we have 01 here. So let's go to config T. Config T interface gigabit 0/1. We're going to go to switch port. Excuse me. Switch port mode trunk. Boom. Done. Got it. Okay. Let's go to the next one. This was, I believe it was 2. We're going to go to config T. Okay. We're going to go to the interface 0/2. We're going to go to switch port mode trunk. Boom. Got it. Done. Next one. Let's go to here. And actually the same one. Interface. Let's exit out of here. I like to use the tab. So if I put interface, I put G, and then it goes ahead and actually autofills for me, which is actually really nice. Just in case if you don't know, now you know. Switch port mode trunk. Okay. And boom, got it. Exit. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick little show run. Okay, so here we go. So we have our VLAN 10, VLAN 20 on those respective interfaces. We have our trunk ports on those respective interfaces. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to go into the router. Okay. And what we need to go ahead and do is configure the router. So we're going to go ahead and do router on the stick. So first thing we need to do is we need to go to config T, and we're going to go to interface gigabit, I believe it's 0/0. Okay. And what we're going to go ahead and do is put point 10. Okay. Point 10. Okay. And what we're going to do is do the end cap. We're going to do .1q. Okay. And we're going to do, let's do a question mark. Question mark is asking us for the VLAN ID. So the VLAN ID is going to go ahead and be 10. Okay. So we're doing that for our VLAN. Let's go to exit. And actually, we need to go back into end cap. Excuse me, config T. We need to put the actual IP address. IP address. Let's go back into the interface. So we're going to go to interface gig Ethernet 0/0/0/0/0.10. Okay. Once we're there, we're going to put the IP address. IP address is 192.168.0.1. Okay. So incomplete command. What did we forget? Our subnet address 255.255.0. Okay. So I'm going to exit out of here. Now I'm going to go ahead and create the IP address. Okay. For VLAN 20. And this is where we're going to go ahead and get our issue. So I go to interface gigabit 0/0/0.20 for our VLAN 20. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do our same thing. This is our end cap. This is going to be .1q, and this is going to be VLAN 20. I'm going to type in the IP address. IP address 192.168.0.1. Okay, and in and 255.255.255. We forgot the subnet magic. Subnet mask address. So look, here's our situation. 192.168.0.0 overlaps with gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0.10. So what's our situation? And even before you're saying, hey Alex, what's going on, this link here is red. Not a problem, we can still turn on that link. Let's go ahead and come here, go to the actual interface, config T, interface gigabit 0/0/0. Okay, no shut. Okay, and we actually turned that interface on. Okay, however, before we get there, look at this. Look at what we had here. 192.168.0.0 overlaps with gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0.10. So we tried to go ahead and create a different sub interface. Okay, and this is the heart of this video, guys. Okay, this is the rookie mistake. This is something that I don't want to say I'm embarrassed to say, but I have to humble myself and say, hey, I didn't understand this concept. Like, what's going on? You know, if you follow along, if you follow along, you realize what I tried to do, and if you understand what's going on, you understand why it's not working. So, the heart of this video and the purpose of saying, hey, don't make this same mistake was this. I was using one network address. Okay, I was using one network address for two different VLANs. Okay, once again, I was using one network address for two different VLANs when in reality, I needed two different network addresses for each respective VLAN. So in this situation, and we can test the computers, we did VLAN 10. I promise you this. Even if we didn't have this router, okay, let's just do a little testing here. Okay, if I ping, okay, if I ping this default gateway, which is 192.168.0.1, it should be successful. Okay, 192.168.0.1. I ping it, and look, it's successful. Okay, if I ping this computer here, okay, the .02, that still technically should be successful. 192.168.0.2, and look, it's successful. But remember what we wanted. We wanted the blue to talk to the blue, and we wanted the blue to talk to the pink. So let me try to go ahead and ping this computer here, our .4. So let's try it. We're going to ping 192.168.0.4. Okay. And guys, it's not going to work. Okay. It's just not going to work. The reason being why is because there's there's no routing. Okay. You're still at a layer 2. This address, okay, this address, in order for the blue to connect with the pink, we need another network address, or we need variable length subnetting. Okay. So don't make this mistake. I made this mistake. I've been looking at it, and I was just like, hey, why can't this work? What's going on? And remember, with the VLANs, you have a different broadcast domain. A different broadcast domain. So this is its own little network, uh, both on a layer 2, and what we need it to be is on a layer 3 as well. And this is its own little network. Okay, this whole idea of, hey, they're physically connected, but logically they're different. Okay, so in order for us to have connectivity between the pink and the blue, we need to go ahead and get us another subnet, another network address. Okay, and we're gonna do that in part 2. But I just wanted to go ahead, share a little bit of my experience with you guys. If you guys are learning variable length, VLANs, virtual local area networks, and you're running into this mistake, hopefully this video has helped you on what not to do. On our next video, we're going to focus on what to do. Okay, so hopefully this video helped. And on our next video, we're going to go ahead and get the solution. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead, let's leave it there and stick around for what would be part 2, so we can go ahead and get these computers connected.